Good morning. Welcome to First Church Unitarian here in Littleton, Massachusetts. My name is Lara Hoke, pronouns she, her, and I'm so happy and lucky to be the minister serving this incredible congregation. We are so glad that you're with us this morning, those of you here in the sanctuary, and those of you who are with us online as well. It is a treat to have you with us, and we hope to get to know you better if we don't know you already. I know some of you have been coming here for decades, and for some of you, this might be your very first time, but welcome one and all. Just a reminder that we welcome the sounds of children and babies, so don't worry about that. We all make sounds, and it's okay. Today is a Unitarian Universalist tradition. It's a service that we call Ask the Minister, or some places call it the question box. So when you came in, hopefully along with your order of service, you got an index card and a pencil. And so please, if you're here in the sanctuary, think of any questions you might want me to try to answer. It could be on any topic. It could be traditional, like theology or a religion question or a justice question, or it can be whimsically off topic, just anything you feel like asking. It's fun to have a variety. And the deacons will be collecting those cards and sorting them before we get there. When do you want to collect them? During the offering?
During the offering. Please put them in the offertory buckets.
Okay, so please put them in the offertory buckets when they come around, along with loads and loads of cash. And for those of you who are with us online, text me. This is my number, and some of you already have it. It's at the bottom of every email I send out. So, but this is it. So go ahead and text a question too, if you like. All right. If you are seeking any pastoral care, you could reach out to me anytime. You can also reach out to one of our wonderful lay pastoral ministers. Today's lay pastoral minister is Jan Dustin. There she is. And our other lay pastoral ministers are David Butts, Ann Donald, Linda Kaler, and Patty Sardella. And with that, I'm turning it over to Jim for Community Matters.
Thank you, Reverend Laura. Good morning, First Church Unitarian.
Good morning, Jim Nehring.
Welcome to everyone joining us by Zoom today. Welcome to everybody here in the sanctuary. My name is Jim Nehring. Pronouns he, him. I have the privilege of serving on the standing committee, and I have the great joy of singing with the choir, where I learn every week from some wonderful musicians and from our wonderful music director, Molly Lozeau, who I have recently learned shares a superpower with every good elementary school teacher, which is eyes in the back of her head. You'll see that in full display this morning. So just a couple of quick things. One is, please stay after the service today, after coffee hour, I guess, for the visioning exercise that will be led by Cindy Malley and Cindy Highland. This is one activity in the multi-month process initiated by your executive team to examine how our sanctuary reflects our values and to consider what, if any, changes we might want to make in it in the coming months. So that's after the service today. Again, I assume that's after coffee hour. Somebody out there, sort of? 11:30-ish. Yeah, okay. Yeah, people will blink lights and say, come out to the sanctuary, that kind of thing. Okay, thank you. I direct your attention to this week's Community Matters, which, as always, is chock full of both social activity and social action. I want to direct your attention particularly to the No Kings Rally next Saturday. This is one of what I understand now is an estimated 1,600 events across 5 continents to reclaim our democracy, as our own task force is doing. I think that's it, except to say, please silence your devices, and welcome to our service.
We gather this morning as a people sometimes more comfortable with the questions than the answers. We gather this morning as a people who question all, who question authority. But who are we to ask the big questions? Who aren't we? That's our job as religious and spiritual seekers. But who am I to answer them? I have no answer for that. Let us enjoy this Unitarian Universalist tradition together, keeping in mind the words of physicist Richard Feynman. I would rather have questions that can't be answered than answers that can't be questioned. Let us worship. I'd like to invite up Natalie to light our chalice. Here she comes. And as Natalie lights our chalice, please join me in saying the words of our covenant. Love is the spirit of this church, and service its law. This is our great covenant, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. All right, thank you. So we have mystery opening and closing hymns this morning. For our first hymn, Thea will assist me. This portion of our service is brought to you by CVS, since we have CVS bags holding the numbers. Tucker will select the first number of the first hymn. What'd you get? 0. Okay, 0. That's cool. That means we aren't singing a Christmas hymn. I'm kind of relieved. Number 2, Natalie. 7, all right. And who wants to draw number 3? All right. All right, it's hymn 73, which is a chant for the seasons, of course. All right, so, and Molly, of course, is sight reading this, but she's a pro. So I invite you to rise in body or spirit for number 73. Spring, last verse. Very nice.
Thank you. Okay, let's see. Can you? There we go. Can you hear me? You can hear me. No. Oh my God. Like that? Okay. So I'm going to read a poem this morning, Life Doesn't Frighten Me by Maya Angelou. And the poem is to remind us that we are scared at times, but we can overcome that. Shadows on the wall, noises down the hall. Life doesn't frighten me at all. Bad dogs barking loud, big ghosts in a cloud. Life doesn't frighten me at all. Mean old mother goose, lions on the loose, they don't frighten me at all. Dragons breathing flame on my counterpane, that doesn't frighten me at all. I go boo, make them shoo. I make fun, way they run. I won't cry, so they fly. I just smile. They go wild. Life doesn't frighten me at all. Tough guys fight all alone at night. Life doesn't frighten me at all. Panthers in the park, strangers in the dark. No, they don't frighten me at all. The new classroom where boys pull my hair, kissy little girls with their curls, hair and curls, they don't frighten me at all. Don't show me frogs and snakes and listen for my scream. If I'm afraid at all, it's only in my dreams. I've got a magic charm that I keep up my sleeve. I can walk the ocean floor and never have to breathe. Life doesn't frighten me at all, not at all. Life doesn't frighten me at all. And one of the reasons I love this particular version and book is the paintings by Jean-Michel Basquiat are absolutely amazing. And I just wanted to be sure you all got exposed to him, if you haven't. Thank you.
Each of us. 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 Inevitable. 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 Each of us. Each of us.
The Reverend Erica Hewitt has written, "The offering that we take each Sunday isn't just a stale habit. It's an opportunity to recommit to this place and to this people. Our offering is an affirmation, a yes. When we give, we say yes to something we value. With our gifts freely given, may we say yes to the values of our faith. May our offering help us practice Unitarian Universalism within and beyond our congregation. For those in the sanctuary, put any cash or checks into the plates as they come around, and including their questions for Lara. If you're on, for virtual participants, you can go to our website, fculittle.org, and look for the yellow donate button in the upper right. There you see details how to donate online. You've done it before, I know, online people, so you can do it. You can also just mail a check to the church. The offering will now be given and received in grateful appreciation. Please join me in the words of our community response. May we be transformed by our giving, and may the world be transformed by our gifts.
Many weeks, this congregation has a time that we call the Candles of Sharing. If you have a special joy or concern or sorrow that's with you this morning and you're in the sanctuary, we ask that if you're able, you come up to the microphone and say your name and briefly let us know how we can express our thoughts, prayers, and healing wishes. If you are with us on Zoom, please raise the hand in the reactions area, and we will call on you in turn and light a candle up front. Are there any candles this morning? Okay. Then I'd like to ask Bob to light one last candle and let this represent all those joys, concerns, and sorrows that are with us this morning, but that remain unspoken. Thank you. Please join with me in the spirit of meditation or prayer. Once again, we have come together in love and trust, sharing those cares dearest to us with this gathered, beloved community. Let us hold in our thoughts and prayers those joys, concerns, and sorrows spoken aloud this morning, as well as those that remain unspoken, as we share together in a time of sacred silence. Amen, and blessed be. Thank you.
You've got 3 or 4 sermons there.
I'm sure, yes. Thank you to our deacons for sorting these questions the best they could into categories. And always, obviously, there are more questions than I can actually answer, but I do look at all of them, so I have a feeling what's on your minds. And not rarely do a few of them turn into future sermons. So thank you for your thoughtfulness. And let's take one from the first category, which is justice type of stuff. Okay. Has there ever been any open discussion about the pros and cons of the special use of pronouns as a means of inclusion? Could there be? No, I don't think we have had that much of an actual discussion. I mean, we've talked about it here and there, but no full discussion. Could there be? Absolutely. Just briefly, I would say, in my experience, it's mostly a pro thing to use your pronouns, which is why I use them when I introduce myself. It just lets people know that, among other things, you recognize that there are more than just two genders out there, and that you recognize that not everyone is the gender that they might present as to your eyes. So I think it is inclusive to use your pronouns when you introduce yourself in a group, just so that people know they're welcome, even if they aren't some sort of straightforward cisgender she, he that we all grew up expecting. So that would be my quick answer. If there are cons, it's hard for me to think of them off the top of my head. But I'll leave that there for now and move on to the next topic. The next topic area is FCU General. Okay. It's my first time attending. What are 3 nice things about this church? I don't know who you are, but I like you already. Yeah, well, there's lots of things. I mean, the first thing that comes to mind for me is always the people here. The people here are wonderful. I sometimes get questions from people off the internet asking me if our church is cliquey. And I guess that's a common thing at churches, right? And what I experience here, having been a member of and a minister at several different UU congregations in my lifetime, many actually, is no, I don't find this congregation particularly cliquey. It's natural for friendship groups to form, it happens, but I find that the friendship groups that form are also kind of open to others. And the thing I find here that's really unique is that people here love and care about each other, even if they don't hang out together personally or even necessarily like each other in some cases. I think the people here truly have a deep love for each other and reach out to try to help each other no matter what, which I think is beautiful. I think this congregation is very good about doing justice work, and I feel like it's grown in that area since I've known you for 7 years, and I take zero credit for it. I feel like among you, and the Reclaiming Our Democracy Task Force is a perfect example, you've really stepped up and upped our game in that way, and I thank you for that. And the third nice thing is that, in my opinion, well, it's not an opinion that we only have a small number of kids and youth at the moment, and that's been true for a while. But in my opinion, even though the numbers are small, we still really value them and, put our resources there, care about them, try to include them. So those are just off the top of my head, 3 things. Okay, next category, personal. How old were you when you came out? Guess who asked this? Well, if I guess correctly, do I get a prize? I'm going to guess that Sabre asked this. All right. I should have determined the prize first, clearly. Well, it was a process, but the how old I was when I actually came out to others, I guess I was 25, I believe. It was in the middle of divinity school or seminary, and and I went straight from the Navy, straight being the operative word, where straightness was obligatory at the time, and I had a husband, my college sweetheart. I went to divinity school, and in my mind, clearly shows what I knew. Divinity school would be filled with straight people and squares. No, divinity school was filled with fun, interesting, open-minded people and lots of LGBTQ type people. And it just became harder for me to hold back on what I'd kind of been wrestling with internally. So yeah, 25 when I came out. Let me take one from the texts. Let's see. What is your favorite story about your family that you might use in a sermon? Oh. Gosh. I don't know if I have a favorite family story. If we're talking family of origin, and I think that was the meaning, what was that? No. All the ones that are jumping to head are a little bit sociopathic. So, no, I mean, I had a lovely family of origin, I really did. But the colorful stories that come to my mind are featuring my brother when he was young, and he was a little bit of a hellion. So here's the first one that just vividly popped into my head. When I was a little kid, this is way back, early 70s, and this is back when there was only one screen in the house, you remember? And ours was actually black and white still. I know. And so there it was, the screen, the one channel that could be on. And so everyone was sitting around watching it, because that's what you did. And, we're sitting in chairs, but there were always one or two kids kind of on the floor, propped up on their elbows, knees bent, feet up in the air kind of thing. And my oldest sister, Della, was on the floor, as I recall, propped up and watching TV that way with her feet up in the air. And we're just watching, la, la, la. And then all of a sudden, out of the blue, my brother Kevin gets out of his chair and jumps on Della and starts attacking her. And my mother yells, "Kevin!" And he says, "She started it." And I'm not really sure what that's a sermon illustration for. Tyrants come in all sizes. I don't know, the whole world is watching. I don't know. But yeah, that springs to mind. Next topic, theology. All right, what do we got? Ooh, what's on the other side? Yeah, great. Well, I don't know. Your guess is truly as good as mine. I once had somebody, a parishioner, and we were talking kind of about death and the afterlife, and they said, "Well, you know about this, I mean, you studied this in seminary," and the expectation was that in seminary they had somehow told us what happens after you die. But no, alas, don't know. I'll tell you my best guess or my intuition as of this moment, which could change. I do feel that the same thing happens to everyone. I guess I'm a universalist in the old-fashioned sense of universalism, that I believe in universal salvation, or at least a universal afterlife. I think everyone dies and the same thing happens to them, whatever they were like in this life. I also am a universal person in the sense that I think every living creature, we must all be going to the same place. I kind of don't think there's an afterlife for this species, humans, and a different afterlife for other species. So I guess I feel like the same thing happens to all living creatures, maybe including plants, I don't know. But I tend to think maybe there's some sort of what people call collective consciousness, or some people have called it Christ consciousness or Krishna consciousness, depending on their faith of origin. Maybe there is some sort of universal consciousness that we get merged into in a different way. But I feel like there is a oneness of all things, and I guess I feel like that continues after we die and leave these bodies. I just don't know how that looks. So. All right. Next, self-care general. Okay. Let's see, hold on. I recently went through a severe mental health crisis. What does the church recommend for feeling grounded again? For a severe mental health crisis, I'm certainly a believer in psychology and counseling and therapy, and if at all possible, would definitely recommend seeking that sort of truly professional guidance. We are happy to give you pastoral care here, including me, and talking can always be helpful. But if you're feeling a severe mental health crisis, I would also definitely recommend the true professionals. and try to do what the true professionals say. I have nothing against medication if that's what is recommended and that's what works for you. I think that is just fine. And beyond that, it's good for anyone to meditate. It's not as hard as you might think. Start at 5 minutes. You might be surprised how much that can help. Or prayer, if you're inclined, is similar to meditation. And whatever effect prayer does or doesn't have on the outside word, it definitely has an effect on the one praying, I believe. And time together with others. So coming here is a good instinct. Time with friends and family, if you're lucky enough to have friends and family around. That's always time well spent. And time outside. Studies have shown that there is a thing called ecotherapy, and that your self-esteem and your mental health improves simply by spending some time outside. So put on some sunblock and get outside. I guess those are the things I say. And of course, it's always good if you're able-bodied to find ways to move. Also very good for your mental health and self-care. Next group, political. All right. Why can they call themselves representatives when they don't represent? I mean, is that a question, really? Yeah, I mean, I'm with you, right? We want our elected representatives to represent us, for starters. And I think, for the most part, here in Massachusetts, we're lucky enough that they mostly do. And, I think we have a pretty good hold on that here. But it's very frustrating, the overall political situation, the gerrymandering, the electoral college, that, there are many ways in which the people that would best represent us aren't even in office because of the way things are set up and corporate money and so on. So unfortunately, in many places, what gets represented is money and big money values and so on. So that's a challenge. I'll do another political one. How will the good guys win this fight for democracy? I think there are a lot more good guys than bad guys in the world. I mean, I know that's true. And good guys outnumber the bad guys by quite a bit. So it's just a matter of time, in my opinion, until we get our act together and that the numbers come together to get the government we actually do want. And I think we will do it. It's just a question of how soon, how long will it take, and how much damage will be done in the meantime. So obviously, the sooner the good guys get the act together, the better. And I'm not politically savvy enough to tell you the quick answer to that. But I do think our instincts here are good, and we're doing a lot of the right things. We just have to mobilize the numbers. They are there. Uh-oh. This category is called Weird Ones. I feel a little value judgment from our deacons. Just kidding. Do you ever have an anxiety dream where it's Sunday morning, you're in the pulpit, and you realize you forgot to write a sermon? I don't remember having that exact anxiety dream, but I have so many very similar ones. The one I have the most is something like this, and I don't know why. But it's usually like Christmas Eve, so, bigger service, higher stakes, so to speak, than a typical Sunday. More people there and more people who aren't necessarily friends and members of the congregation. So you want to put your best foot forward, right? And I'll have I recently had this dream. I have all kinds of time. I'm trying to find time to write my Christmas Eve homily, and I just can't get any time alone. Every time I sit down to write my sermon, people are coming at me with this and that, and I'm like running out of time to write anything, and I'm sort of panicking. And then suddenly it's Christmas Eve, and I show up, and I really haven't written anything, And I realize I'm just going to have to wing this completely. And then I get there, and somehow I come to the church, which doesn't look like the church, because you know how that is. But I get there, and it's like, wait, no one's in the main sanctuary. I'm like, where is everybody? And then I find out, oh, we have this other little chapel that somehow I'd forgotten about. And everybody is set up in the chapel. And so it's very disorienting. And I go over into this other chapel, and I'm kind of like trying to remember where things are. And it just goes from there. I have that exact dream all the time. It's really strange. It's very specific. So I don't know why y'all are trying to hide on me on Christmas Eve. Clearly something amiss. All right, let's go back to justice. How lucky are we to have this planet? I feel that we forget to remember this all too often. Yeah. Ooh, that's so true. Yeah, I mean, this planet is unbelievable. I mean, if there's anything we know, we certainly know now that there are many planets, and it seems as though most stars probably have planets, or at least a lot of them do. So it's not that planets are rare, but as far as we can tell, it seems like a planet this conducive to life, at least as we know it, is fairly rare. And I believe there is other intelligent life in the universe, just guessing based on the huge numbers, but it would seem as though intelligent life is relatively uncommon. And so, yeah, we have everything here. We have, the beautiful water, beautiful land, all the beautiful flora and fauna, and amazing human beings, which I think we'd be, we're not perfect, but we're pretty cool. And, we certainly could spend a lot more time appreciating this planet, not taking it for granted. There's so many places that we all love and visit, and when you really force yourself to think about it, you have to wonder, how long will that be there? And it's not just the beautiful outdoorsy places. I'm kind of a city person, but I love Manhattan. And I think, the tip of Manhattan is already flooding, I mean, how long will Manhattan be Manhattan? How long will Boston be Boston? So, yeah, it's enjoy every day. That's a good philosophy anyway. But enjoy it all, because nothing stays forever. So take care of what you can, yourself and the planet, but enjoy everything you can too. Let's come back to weird ones, shall we? Weird ones for 200. What's the best sandwich? Oh, gosh. Well, I think the favorite sandwich I ever had, there's that book mill in Montauk, Massachusetts. Is it called the book mill? I forget. The book mill. Montague. See, I don't even know. Montague, Massachusetts. Cool place if you ever want a road trip, right on a mill and water. Very nice. And in addition to a great used bookstore, they have a nice little cafe. And they had this amazing vegan sandwich with like vegan bacon. It was like a vegan BLT, but just really, extra. Delicious sauce. It was so good. So that's my happiest memory of a sandwich. Back to political. The president seems determined to force a confrontation between protesters and the military. How should we as UUs respond to that? Yeah, so it's really scary. My understanding is that without even being asked by the governor, that the administration sent the National Guard out for some ICE protests in California, right? That was the one. And yeah, I mean, that's terrifying that the administration would send out the National Guard without even being requested. That's really scary, because it's supposed to be the governor asking for that kind of help, and even that's scary. But At least then you have somebody else thinking it's necessary. What can you do? I mean, gosh. I mean, the only thing I can think of is to write and call, I would say your representative and senators, except they're probably pretty on board with you, but it's never a bad thing to touch base with your own representatives and tell them thank you for all they're doing and that this is how you feel on this issue and you hope and assume they do too. Never hurts. And if you are so inclined, it doesn't hurt to write or call other representatives. Our DRE, Thea Shapiro, she calls representatives of all sorts of states. They know her now by name because she calls every day. She has this list she goes through and speaks up on issues that are on her mind. And this is one. You could just pick some places, make your calls, make your voice heard. I think for now, off the top of my head, that's the best starting place. And maybe one more. And thank you for these questions. Should I do, no, I'm gonna I'll pick FCU General. Let's see what we got. Oh, how do I make an appointment with Reverend Hoke? You can call me Lara. I'm a new person and decades long, you. Okay. It's really easy. If you can catch me after church on Sunday, that's one way, although good luck with that, really. But if you can manage to corner me, that's one way. My phone number, I think, and email are on the back of the order of service, if you don't already have it. And you can always call me or email me, and I will be happy to set up an appointment and happy to talk to anyone anytime about anything. So please do. Okay. Thank you for these questions, and I look forward to reading the rest, and I'm sure some sermons will come out of it and maybe some other things too. So I thank you very much. The questions are always better than the answers, so thank you. Okay, our closing hymn is also a mystery hymn. It's going to be out of the Teal hymnal, though. So the first two numbers are 1-0. And let's get somebody to draw out of the bag number 2 and bag number 3. Okay, 1005, which is Praise in Springtime. We're in a very earth-centered theme. So Praise in Springtime, 1005 Teal hymnal. I invite you to rise in body or spirit. For our closing words, it's our tradition, if you're comfortable, to hold hands or touch elbows or feet with the person next to you if they're okay with that, or simply raise your hands and feel the energy between us and those who are with us online. Friends, may we never stop asking the big, important questions. And may we never stop questioning the questionable answers fed to us. Let us always pause to reflect on what is true for us, what might be true and different for others, and if there is such a thing, what is truth with a capital T. May we always rely on our intellectual honesty and our search for meaning and truth to help make this a beautiful world. May it be so. Blessed be, and amen. Please be seated.